todo o curso da nossa.
All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is September 5th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all my members. Oh, special announcement right here. Tomorrow, open house in the BYOB Trading Room tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Monday. On Monday. That's September 8th from 8 till 4. Hope to see you there. The registration, the attendance is no charge. All you have to do is get registered. I'll leave a link in the description, and if you can't wait for that, you can scan the QR code with your smartphone, and that should bring up a pop-up. You click the pop-up, and that should open up a web page to fill out the necessary data so that we can email you your credentials so you can get into the room on Monday. All right, so that's Monday, this Monday from September 8th, on September 8th from 8 to 4. All right, open house in the BYOB Trading Room. Hope to see you there. All right, let's take a look at the markets today. How I made 138K on a 772 account. I bought the dip. Okay, the markets are still bullish. All right, even with that big dip, we're still bullish up here. Let's take a peek at the markets today. Let's move all this out of the way. Price action. Let's see. Do we want to look at the markets or do we want to look at everything else? Let's take a look here. Okay. All right. So where are we at? Let's move this out of the way. Okay. So we have a 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. Got a 2 hour. What do we got on the 2 hour? 2 hour downtrend coming into the close. Okay, 2 hour downtrend. Daily is still up there at the top. New all-time high for SPY today. Okay, new all-time high. Ugly red candle, but new all-time high. Okay, daily still in an uptrend. Weekly, still in an uptrend. Monthly, still in an uptrend. Okay, so you can see price action here on the daily. Okay, we're up here at the top of quadrant 4. We're still bullish. We're still in an uptrend. We have not made any lower lows. That's SPY. Let's take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ is a, well, it's not a new, but a higher low and a higher high. Closing over bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Okay, so there's QQQ up there. Still bullish up there at the top of quadrant 4 and still in an uptrend. All right, on the daily chart. There's QQQ. FNGU. All right, FNGU, new all-time high for FNGU. Okay, it's up there at the top of quadrant 4. That's bullish. Still in an uptrend. Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow puts in a new all-time high. Okay, higher low, higher high, closing over the trap, over the 17. Okay, up at the top of quadrant 4, that's still bullish, still in an uptrend. Okay, IWM. IWM puts in a new rally high. Okay, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17. All right, so still bullish, still in an uptrend. Okay, the markets are still bullish. All right, nothing's falling apart. Okay, there's IWM. Let's take a look at technicals. Let's scoot over here for technicals. T2122. Again, the breadth keeps dropping lower and lower. I guess that's the participation is getting less and less. Okay. T2101, market breadth is dipping right here. Okay, even further. So not quite as low as we were back here on the 11th. All right, was that the 11th? On the 12th. Okay, not quite as low as that, but definitely challenging the area right there for the 12th. And that was the market breadth dipping below down there. Okay, so let's take a look at T2122. Okay, so we spent the day in the buy zone. wound up closing out the day inside of the overbought zone. Okay, so making higher lows, little mini higher lows, and lower highs, and then a higher low, and then a higher high right there. T21.22 still bullish up there. Let's take a look at T21.23. Okay, new all-time high for T21.23. Up over the 200 SMA, that's bullish. Okay, still in an uptrend. T21.23. Same thing goes for the 3-bar, new all-time high, same product. Up over the 200 SMA, still bullish, still in an uptrend. Okay, FNGU, okay, gapped up, sold off back to fill the gap, and then went back to lean on the VWAP. All right, so basically selling from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. There was a little bit of buying in here, but all in all, we started here and we ended up lower here. Okay, but we're a little bit higher than where we started off. Okay, even though it's green from the beginning of the day to the end of the day, look at it, we spent most of our time underneath VWAP. But let's look at it from one other perspective. We spent all of our day over yesterday's consolidation or yesterday's price action. Okay, so that is, even though it may look or have the appearance of bearishness, okay, in fact, it was bullish, because look at where we are on the FNGU. We spent the whole day consolidating over yesterday's price action. And look at yesterday's price action, spent almost the whole day over consolidating or making their move over the prior day's price action, which did the same thing to the day before that for them. Okay, so everything, see how things are moving up. Even though this was not pretty and the day did not work out like we wanted it to, there was a 10-minute downtrend. I was not interested in a 10-minute downtrend in the bullish environment. Okay, did not trade the 10-minute downtrend. I did trade the bounce, but I did not trade the downtrend at all. I did not buy any puts at all. Okay, and I said it at the beginning. All right, I'm not interested in counter trend unless, of course, we take out the low down there. Okay, and we got down to the low area. If we look at price action back here on, let's push it over here to right here. Okay, if we take a look at it on 8, let's take a look at SPY. Okay, so price action. Okay, so here's price action for SPY. Okay, I said I would only be interested in it if it got below this. All right, I said it may drop all the way down to here. I'm probably not going to be interested in trading anything unless it gets below this. Okay, so I bought the dip and I bounced it back, price back up to here, up to the pivot, and then into VWAP right there. So there's SPY. Okay, so all of this move, there was no follow through. Okay, one big hourly candle. Okay, right there, one big hourly candle with no follow through. Okay, you need follow through when you get a big candle like that. Okay, the next candle should have had follow through. If that doesn't give you follow through, the very next one will give you follow through. Should give you follow through. No follow through. Okay, so I suspect we come right back up and visit the highs because for failing to have the follow through. We'll see what happens. There's SPY. All right, no follow through on the big red candle. Okay, so there's some price action for SPY on the hourly chart. Okay, I said I wasn't going to buy any counter trend. I wasn't interested unless it broke below this, and it didn't break. All right, so there's SPY. QQQ. Okay, QQQ came down to my pivot. Okay, and then it bounced back to the green line. Okay, again, I was not interested in it unless it broke the red line down here. Did not wish to go counter trend. Okay, the bears did fill the gap, but the bulls did gap it up pretty far. Okay, so all in all, most of the price action, okay, for today is over. Look at most of the candles where they lay on the war field are above yesterday's price action. Okay, most of the candles are above yesterday's price action. Okay, that is a win, even though price did pull back today. Okay, so I'm still bullish on the markets. Okay, things may roll over on Monday. Okay, but I'm just saying, like, that was technically, that's not a reason to dump and just throw everything out with the, and just buy puts from now on. Okay, technically you're not there yet. Okay, big red candle, it didn't have any follow through. Okay, so there's QQQ, there's SPY. What did I trade today? It was really like a tough day. All right, there was only a nice 10-minute downtrend. There was no 10-minute uptrend, so to speak. Okay, when it was one, it was very short-lived right here, and by the time you broke the rubber band candle, you were either running into prior resistance or running into VWAP. Okay, so there was nothing. The only way you could do it was just look at the pivot and just look for the reversal right here. That was it. Just look for the bounce at the pivot. Usually at the pivot, you get a $1.25 bounce at a minimum. Usually, okay. So I bought the bounce right here. Okay, nothing special about it other than experience and knowledge to buy the bounce. That's it. Okay, and that's how all of the profits were made, was buying the bounce. Okay, so you can see it all. 293. Okay, again, I sold off up here at the highs. Okay, made 293, 233. Okay, I bought the dip and sold the rally. Okay, same thing here. 5, that's Intel. I just closed out. I bought some more Intel. All right, that was a buy. I don't see any sells. That's why. Oh no, that was my Intels that were short. I covered the shorts on the Intel. Okay, I had some short options. $28 here on the 670 calls. Again, sold the peak and bought the dip right there. Okay, on the 670. 4,500 on the 670. Again, sold the gap up and bought the dip. 3,900 right here. Okay, bought the dip, sold the peaks. Okay, that's all I did in this price action right here. Okay, you can see if I fan this out, push this up. Okay, all I did was buy the lows of the candles and sell the peaks of the candles right there. 3,900. 419, same thing. Bought the dips, sold the peaks. Bought the dips, sold the peaks. Okay, 4,400. Same thing. Bought the dips, sold the peaks. Just bring my average down and sell the peaks. 137,000. Okay, bought the dip, sold the peaks. Right through there. Okay, that's it. Lost 14K. Okay, that was price way up here, and it just dropped. 154 became irrelevant, all right, from where the price action was currently trading. And I knew it, so there was no sense in hanging on to this. I just got out at a minor loss, okay, on that. $500 on the 595 calls. Okay, again, bought the dip, sold the peak. 723. I already had these, so I sold the peak up there. Okay, 723 on those. So that's it right there. Okay, so we're still bullish. All right, we are still bullish up there. Okay, today doesn't feel bullish. All right, but we're still bullish. Okay, we nothing here is broken yet. All right. So that's it for me for today. Thank you for hanging out with me. Hope you all have a great weekend. I'll see you all on Monday. We're going to have an open house. And hopefully we can have a better day on Monday. All right? All right. Thanks, everyone. Everyone have a beautiful weekend. Thank you for being here. Invite all your friends to our open house. All right? Everybody have a great evening.